is ongoing. Plus, we have new video and an update tonight after Saturday's sulfuric acid spill in Fort Smith. Game and Fish telling us how many fish were killed after chemicals slipped away into nearby waterways. And a special session begins at the Arkansas State Capitol. Lawmakers working now to lower the state income tax rate. We'll hear how day one went coming up next on your 5 News at 10. And thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bob. A calm, sunny day to start the work week. Not so calm, not so sunny, maybe by this time tomorrow night. Scott?
Could be looking at a little thunderstorm activity tomorrow, but I think we're going to get some rain tonight. In fact, an increasing level of confidence that while we do see mostly dry conditions right now, you start to zoom out and you can kind of see, okay, well, what's developing off towards the west and northwest. And you can see this little cluster of thunderstorms situated on the Kansas-Oklahoma border, that and some additional activity developing closer to the I-40 corridor. All of this is going to continue growing upscale and eventually is going to start to track through parts of the area. Could there be a strong thunderstorm? Yeah, the odds are relatively low of anything becoming severe. I'm not going to rule it out, but some loud thunder is certainly going to be possible, especially the further north you go. Now, all this rolls through after midnight tonight. You can see parts of northwest Arkansas getting clipped, but some of that gets a little bit more redder, some more purple, right? We're starting to see some more intense thunderstorms. That's around 3 a.m. overnight. So you can see the better odds are going to be north of I-40, but wouldn't rule out some of these thunder showers making their way towards the south. Most of that clears out by sunrise tomorrow morning. A mostly dry Tuesday, but let's say by late afternoon tomorrow into tomorrow evening, we'll have to turn our attention to the skies once more for a chance of some thunderstorms. It's an interesting little forecast. I'd love to share some more about it with you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Scott, thanks. Our top story tonight, 8 Arkansas National Guard soldiers are recovering after a training accident at Fort Chaffee this morning. Now, leaders are pausing training to review safety procedures. 5 News reporter Jada Daniels joins us now in the studio with how they're all moving forward with this. Jada?
Yeah, Darren, officials tell me what started as a routine training exercise quickly turned into a chain reaction crash. Colonel Joel Lynch is the state public affairs officer with the Arkansas National Guard. He says 3 heavy expanded mobility tactical trucks collided. 8 soldiers were injured, with 1 airlifted to Washington Regional in Fayetteville for surgery. The other 7 were taken to a Fort Smith hospital with minor injuries.
Happened, we had an accident involving 3 of those vehicles in the convoy. I believe what happened is the first vehicle probably stopped. Second vehicle didn't stop in time and hit the first. Then the third one hit the second vehicle even harder. So I believe that.
Investigators are still working to find what exactly caused the crash, including weather conditions like dust or visibility played a role. In response, training was immediately paused.
Brigade commanders put in place a safety stand down, which all soldiers will pause, no more training for the day, and they'll just kind of review their safety procedures and the requirements of just to be safe training, because it is inherently dangerous training what we do with these large vehicles.
The safety stand down includes reviewing procedures, checking driver qualifications, and making sure every soldier is properly trained. Leaders say this accident will be on their minds moving forward as they work to prevent future incidents.
Licensed, and we do this anyway, but this really kind of focuses that, where you kind of review that the soldiers are licensed to drive, they're capable and confident in their driving, and really just kind of make sure where we are where we want to be for to operate down in the fields.
Now, training at Fort Chaffee is expected to continue through mid-May as the investigation remains ongoing. Jada Daniels, 5 News.
All right, Jada, thanks. Police still looking for a suspect the day after 23 people were shot at a lake in central Oklahoma. 7 are still in the hospital tonight recovering from serious injuries. This happened at Arcadia Lake in Edmond, Oklahoma last night during what police say was an unsanctioned party at a campground. A fight broke out, according to witnesses, just before gunfire started. Edmond's mayor said today his city plans to evaluate policies for park operations.
We will not allow unlawful or unpermitted activities to jeopardize the safety of our community or the integrity of our public spaces. We're already taking steps to review and strengthen park operations, permitting processes, and security measures, including evaluating increased law enforcement presence and additional safeguards.
Police have not yet released suspect information, but they say there is no ongoing danger to the public. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more about what happened. Arkansas Game and Fish telling us tonight 300 fish have died after a sulfuric acid chemical spill in Fort Smith on Saturday. This is new video a viewer sent to us from CNS Chemicals facility there on Highway 271 South. County Emergency Management says 125,000 gallons was spilled and it leaked into storm drains and nearby creeks. Game and Fish says mainly sunfish and minnows were killed, but we saw some creeks with dead catfish as well today. State Department of Environmental Quality is leading the investigation. As cleanup effort continues, authorities say you should still avoid that area. Fayetteville police have arrested a man for sexually assaulting a minor co-worker. Lauren Taylor is charged now with felony fourth-degree sexual assault. That means when a 20-year-old sexually assaults a child younger than 16. Police say Taylor was 20 at the time of the incident with a 14-year-old co-worker. He faces 6 years in jail if he is convicted. The long-running, let me get to my spot here. The long-running, well, hang on just a second here, folks. I should have had this down here, and I did not do that. Let me get to it right here, folks. At the state capitol, a special session is off and running, and lawmakers are wasting no time pushing for tax cut that could impact your wallet. Simultaneous bills would lower your income tax rates now and corporate taxes even later. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a few moments. Catherine Rowley reports on the short debate underway now at the Capitol.
The proposed tax cut would impact the state's highest tax bracket the most,
which impacts everyone that's making about roughly $26,000 in the state of Arkansas. So 1.1 million Arkansans will be impacted. It's going to take the top rate from 3.9% to 3.7%.
The bill also includes a reduction in corporate tax rates. State Senator Jonathan Dismain of Sarcy says that the move would help Arkansas compete with neighboring states.
And lowering that corporate income tax rate is one of the number one things we can do to bring people to this state or bring entities that's going to job creators really to the state of Arkansas.
At the Capitol on Monday, several people testified before committees urging lawmakers to vote against the proposed tax cut. Missy Joyce drove from Fayetteville to make her case.
I came today to ask the committee to not approve any more tax cuts until they fund Act 1023.
Act 1023 passed in 2025, and it mandated a rate study for supported living services in the state. Joyce's son Hunter, who has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, relies on those services.
That rate study was released in October of 2025, and it showed that supported living reimbursement rates are underfunded 23%.
Joyce echoed others who testified, saying that the state should fully fund services before cutting taxes.
Because it's 23% underfunded, he has constant turnover and chaos, and it's time we fund it, not just for him, but for all of the hunters that live in the community.
That was Catherine Rowley reporting. Now the Senate reconvenes tomorrow morning at 9 with the House following at 9:30. University of Arkansas Fort Smith celebrating the opening of its new Advanced Manufacturing and Workforce Development Centers this afternoon. The facilities are equipped with technology used in today's industry, including robotics, industrial automation, and additive manufacturing. The goal of the space is to give students hands-on experience with the same tools used in local factories to support one of the region's largest industries.
We have manufacturers all over the River Valley who are bringing in their corporate partners, people from literally across the globe, to see exactly what we're doing here. And of course, they have high hopes that other communities will replicate what we're leading here in Fort Smith.
The centers are backed by nearly $7 million in investment, including $1 million gift from ABB in Fort Smith, along with more than $5 million in state grants.